In this lesson, lesson 2.1, our essential question is, repeat after me, how do you group tens as hundreds? So what we're going to do in this lesson is we are going to be grouping tens together to make hundreds. Before we do that, I'd like you to open your book to page 75. Go ahead and pause the video to do that. All right, so you should be on page 75. What we're going to do on this page is it is asking us to circle groups of 10. So as you can see, we have a page full of ones cubes. So if you think about the ones and tens that we worked on in the last chapter, we know that how many ones will equal 110? That's correct. 10 ones will equal 110. So we are going to count groups of 10 and we're going to circle them. So you can either decide to go across and count or up and down, but you need to pick one way or the other. So if we look across, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Or if you look up and down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So pick one of those ways and go ahead and circle groups of 10. So there would be one group of 10. We know that's 10 ones. So we know that this would be another group of 10. So there's 10 more ones. Keep going. You can go ahead and pause the video while you circle your groups of 10. I just have a few more. All right, so I have circled all of my groups of 10 ones to make tens. So let's look and let's count how many groups of 10 that we have right here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 10 groups of 10. So if we want to describe how many ones there are altogether, we know that we could count these groups of 10 by tens. So in order to find out how many ones there are, we could count 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 ones. So we know that 100 ones is going to equal how many tens? Let's count how many tens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 will equal 10 tens. And so if you look down at the math talk, it is asking you how many ones are in 3 tens. So remember, if we want to know how many ones are in 3 tens, we know that we can count by 10. So if you count by 10, we know that there are 30 ones in 3 tens. Next question, I want you to think about this question. How many ones are in 7 tens? And explain how you know. Pause the video and think about that question. All right, so you know that in 7 tens, we know that in 3 tens there are 30. So in 7 tens, we have 40, 50, 60, 70. So we know that there are 70 ones in 7 tens. All right, go ahead and turn the page. Now what we're going to do is we're going to look at how many tens there are in 100. So on this page, oops, got a little crooked. There we go. On this page, we know that there are 10 tens right here. So let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there are 10 tens. And we know that that is the same as 100. So 10 tens is the same as 100. And the way we would write the value of that number would be 100. So every time we have 10 tens, it is going to equal 100. So down here, we are going to look at how many groups of 10 tens there are, and then we're going to determine how many tens, how many hundreds that makes, and then how to write the value of that number. So the book has conveniently put tens together in groups of 10. So let's count to make sure though. We know we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 tens. So we're going to circle groups of 10 tens, and we know that every time we circle 10 tens, that it will equal 100. So we know that's 100, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 again. So another group of 10 tens. So altogether, we know that we have 10 tens and another 10 tens. We know that that will equal 20 tens. So then, if we look at how many hundreds that would be, we know that every time there are 10 tens, there is 100. So let's count how many hundreds there are. There's 1, and there's another group of 10 tens, so we have 2 hundreds. So in order to write the value of that number, we know that we would write that 200. All right, so go ahead and pause the video and get that written in your book. We're going to go ahead and we're going to do number 2 together. So as you can see, there's groups of 10 tens. So our first step is to circle groups of 10 tens. So here is our first group of 10 tens. We know that every time we circle 10 tens, it's the same as 100. Here's another group of 10 tens. And here's another group of 10 tens. So all together, we want to count how many tens there are all together. And if they're groups of 10 tens, we know that we can count them by tens. Go ahead and pause the video and count yours by 10. All right, so how many tens do we have? We have 10, 20, 30 tens. And then we look to see how many hundreds that makes. So every time we circle 10 tens, we know that that is 100. So there are 1, 2, 3 hundreds. And in order to write that number, we are going to write the value of that number, which is 300. All right, you may go ahead and you can complete the quick check problems, and then you may continue on to the On Your Own page. And if you get done with that, go ahead and work on problem solving, and we will look at that together.